Welcome, everybody, to one more celebration of International Women's Day, which Powerful Women Today has decreed that it should be a whole month. So, for the entire month of March, we are celebrating 30 days of empowerment and courage. And of course, who better to celebrate the empowerment and courage of women than our guest today, Simone Sloan? So, let's get to it.
Empowering women on a global scale. Welcome to Powerful Women Today with Carolina Billings. Powerful Women Today is on a mission of inclusion, rewriting his story to include her story, and empowering, raising, and amplifying women's voices with professional speaking, publishing, original podcasting, and web TV. And now here's your host, the founder of Powerful Women Today, Carolina Billings.
Well, the founder of Powerful Women Today presents the founder of Your Choice Coaching, Your Choice Coach, actually. Welcome, Simone, one of my absolutely favorite mentor experts at Powerful Women Today, overall incredible champion of women. So, welcome to the celebration of 30 days of empowerment and courage. Let's just get to it, shall we? How do you empower women?
Well, first, I want to say thanks so much for having me here back again. It's awesome. The reason which we empower women really is to provide that support, right? Enabling them to have that confidence, finding their voice. And that's really what it's all about because everyone has it, their power in. It's just a matter of how do we unearth that, recognize that, and manifest and execute against that.
That's right. And you know what? Even though our numbers of women ready to own their voice and own their visibility, which is something that you and I, that's one of our mandates. Although our numbers keep growing, we must not forget that there's still millions of women for whom they're just beginning to try, right? Exercising their voice. So don't think for a second that, oh, empowerment, that's just so, 2018. It's like, no, not at all. Like we've just gotten started. And you are such a champion and advocate. You're one of our co-authors of our next publication, which is coming up March 31st, 30 Days to Courage. Yes. In your chapter, 30 Days to Inclusion, that's the challenge. But really, the mission and vision of your voice, let's share that with our international global audience.
Absolutely. Because you mentioned too the fact that, in terms of women activating and finding their voices, and we take a Northern American perspective, but really think it from a global level where we are as women, right? In terms of financial inclusion, health and equities, all of those things that are very important and sustainable for our own health and survival. But when we talk about it from the inclusion perspective, it's really around that self-reflection because we never really get that time to self-reflect. So I'm providing an opportunity really for us to look within, put up that mirror, be support not only for ourselves, but for others around us so that we can continue to build this strong network of inclusion that includes women.
Yeah, and you know what? You and I were just warming up in the green room and we stumbled across, we were talking about the headlines, which is something that we love to, it's like a life lab. You know what I mean? Like we're actually seeing like it's such an exciting time to be alive and it's such an exciting time to be a woman because we're literally seeing an evolution and a revolution, a cultural revolution for women. And I just mentioned something in passing about a headline that it made me feel a little, I don't know, it made me feel something. It made me feel uncomfortable. And you said, oh, your bias is showing, right? You were just teasing me. But you know what? That is exactly what we are inviting all of us to do. That when you see something in the news, right, that's just like not landing, that is not a hell yeah or a hell no, right? Like if you're landing in the middle and you're not sure how you feel, take the time to reflect. That is a great opportunity to diarize and to see what values, is it awakening in me, right? Especially if you're a thought leader.
Absolutely. And that's some of the things in the book too that we in the chapter that we encourage is that journaling, is that self-reflection, asking those really hard questions that we don't have time to ask. providing the space to do
That's right, because it's so easy, it's so easy to buy into the media narrative, buy into the, oh, it's their privilege, oh, it's their barrier, or oh, it's like like, where is the obstacle coming from,
Mm,
right? Because sometimes it's cultural within our own groups, within our own family, right? And meanwhile, the rest of the world's moved on. I remember a friend of mine, and just to give you a sampling of the intersectionality between culture and heritage and all of that. And she's of Scottish descent, and she married an Italian gentleman, and they're here in Canada, right? In the Italian culture, all expats, it's not just Italian, like the Spanish, you name it, right? And you and I come from somewhere else in the world. So it just seems that when somebody moves to another country, you do two things. You either fully emerge and you go with, you're in Rome, you do as Romans do, or you cling on to your heritage tightly, like even more so than before. So her and her husband went to Italy for the first time on a trip. It was like they're planning forever. And when she got there, it was like absolute culture shock. And she's Scottish, right? Married to an Italian, dealing with the entire expanded Italian family here. And she said to me, Carolina, the Italians in Canada are more Italians than the Italians in Italy, right? In that, you can replace the word Italian with many other heritage and nationalities, right? So it is just really, it's an education, it is an exploration, right? Of what does it mean to represent your heritage? What does it mean to represent your gender? Especially when it comes to taking the leadership role of being authentic diversity.
absolutely. And when you're talking about that too, that's where the deeper understanding comes into play because some of us do work in global societies. And so
Mhm.
we have our way of being, our cultural framework from which we're operating. But then how are we understanding and deconstructing all the other frameworks that exist and juxtaposing that in terms of your lens of how you do things, your behaviors, your values and beliefs, and looking at it from an understanding those differences, not know it's a good, bad, or indifferent, but just understanding those differences so that way you can allow for space for connection, space for
That's right.
space
And you
for
know what? Just like we say global brands, local markets, it's the same with diversity and inclusion, right? It's a global concept, but it's a local construct.
local and has
And
stood.
you know what? Because diversity, we have such a blessing to have really a worldwide community, and I'm always humbled, to be speaking to our sisters in Africa, or our sisters in Israel, or just all over the world. And when they bring up their perspective, because I was saying something about, it's really, it seems to be that the disparity in income, right? When you really do the research, when you're not buying the headlines, which is the very first thing that Simone and I are working so hard at, to make sure that we separate the headline from the statistics and the research and the truth, right? And I was going on about how, it's really women that do not have children only seem to have like about a 5% wage disparity according to research, right? And today we were not really talking about that. It's just like flowing. So we will come back to this and bring you the actual research. And she's listening to me and she's going, okay. And I said, yeah, opposite to like 85 cents on the dollar, right? And she goes, okay, try 30 cents on the dollar in Kenya. And I was just like, wow, right? Like in what exactly what you were talking about, that we are so North American centric sometimes, right? That we forget that is a world that we're inspiring. It's a world that we are, really encouraging.
Connecting and encouraging and supporting. And we cannot forget the global inter networks and weavings that we have as women and women's sisterhood.
And we can learn so much from each other. I'm not saying that, just because you're in North America, you got all the answers.
I know.
Trust me, there's so much we can learn from each other. So, yeah, exciting. And we have 30 days. We got 5 summits instead of doing one long day, right? That, I usually walk out of those summits by the end of the day, I'm so confused. I don't remember who said what. So what we did for our 2022 empowerment summit, which we do every year at Powerful Women Today, is that we broke it down into 5 different sessions, 2 hours each, focusing exactly on what we need to: speaking, publishing, coaching, which we're excited. Simone and I have some exciting news for you. And of course, our boutique accelerators, Simone and Leona leading our New York leveling up chapter, which is like super popular, and just so many good things. So just to wrap up, because this is a short little intro to invite you, use the link below to register. What is something that you would like women to know, and gentlemen, now that we have Ottawa, what would you like our thought leaders to know about Powerful Women Today?
Sure. It's an opportunity. I will say this, one of the things, the feedback we've gotten is how engaged our members are. And so when we bring in speakers, they're not speaking at us. It's a conversation that we're having, and it's a cross-cultural learning environment.
Very diverse, yeah.
From that perspective, that was something that I really enjoyed hearing, because that's what we're fostering: inclusion, talking up your voices, being confident, asking those questions, and learning all at the same time.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, everyone. And I hope you join us, whether it's live or on demand. Click on the link below to register. And I will, Simone and I are regulars. So just watch out for some exciting. I get so excited about just developing in just talking. That's how we learn about each other. Right? So have a brilliant long weekend. It is President's Day in the United States and Family Day in Canada. And this will probably air during Family Day and President's Day. So enjoy. I hope you had a fabulous long weekend. And we will see you next time. Thank you, everyone.
Empowering women on a global scale. This has been Powerful Women Today with Carolina Billings. To learn more about how you can join and transform your life and the lives of women everywhere with professional speaking, publishing, podcasting, and web TV, visit powerfulwomentoday.com. Remember to subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you like to listen and watch your podcasts.